Hey, Queen. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
Doing well, Elijah. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. I say, I truly appreciate it. And you say, Queen, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Queen, I want to say, yeah, thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Quinn, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word
Hmm.
unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked
Mm.
past it and I went my way. But you see, Quinn, just recently, I was on that same road. And this time around, a
Mm.
lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately, I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green
Oh.
leaves, and healthy branches. You see, not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. I was there staring at the beauty. It was a beautiful moment, a special moment for me. I was so excited. I was very, very excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing queen that you are today. That alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you say you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your philosophies, the
Oh.
impact your work is having. I tell you, it is amazing. And before you got the text from me, I said, I've got to benefit from all of those beautiful things that Queen is doing. And not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are with the great and
Oh.
amazing Queen. Thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing I could do about it. Thank you.
Okay. Of course.
So, thank you so much. Okay, let's get started, Queen. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge
Mm-hmm.
now, but the application of it. And you see, Queen, ever
Mm.
since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge
Mm.
seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm
Okay.
excited to have the amazing Queen on the show is for the sake of the audience. Say, Queen, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of
Oh.
information flying out there, I tell you. So those folks trust me for
Mm-hmm.
quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Quinn, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey because right now we are just so curious. We want to know how Quinn got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Quinn, over to you.
Okay. Um, I'm just wow, what an introduction. Just thank you so much for pouring into me with those lovely words. They strengthened me uh and just encouraged me and I thank you for that. I'm excited to talk about uh New Earth and what New Earth is. That's a term that's flying around now quite a little bit as this mass awakening, this global mass awakening. People are, as you mentioned, wanting to come up out of the darkness in a sense. They are awakening, and everyone is at different points of their journey in that awakening. Um, And so, how did I find myself in this community of thought? Uh, I'm a retired elementary and middle school teacher, 27 years. And after I retired, I quickly realized that I'm going to have to keep working. Even though I'm retired, I'm going to have to keep working to supplement my pension. And I didn't want to do that because I would have always had to work, to supplement the pension from my years as a teacher. So I moved to Mexico. I researched the top 10 places to retire where I really could retire. And I moved to Mexico. And while there, I had a spiritual awakening in Mexico. Number one, because I had time to self discover. I had time to quiet the distractions that had always kept me distracted and away from turning into myself and discovering myself, awakening in that way. So um after discovering myself, I realized that New Earth, it's not a place. It's but rather a state of consciousness. Okay, New Earth is not a place that one goes, but it's a state of consciousness. Um, I wrote a book called Traveling Home Together. It's a New Earth guidebook, and it takes uh, it would resonate with those who are awakening or who are newly awakened. And it takes them on a gentle journey, a very meaty, metaphoric journey. And it shines the brightest light on the egoic self, the ego. And while at the same time, it introduces you to your soul self. Now, they call the soul self, there's so many names for it. I call it soul self, but I'm sure you've heard higher self, Holy Spirit, um, spirit. It's so many different names, but I call it soul self. And I want to really discuss the ego versus the soul self. Okay, and I can best say it by uh, reading this very quickly to you. There was there was one voice within you when you were first born into this world. It had your undivided attention. As you grew into your humanness, a new voice was introduced through your senses. Through your senses. What you saw, what you heard, what you tasted, what you felt, what you smelled, drew you more and more into a into the physical world, and you lost touch with that non-physical connection that your flesh has clothed is clothed in. You also lost touch with the essence of who you really are as the world took over and the still small voice became smaller. The new stronger voice that grew within and pretty much took over was that of your ego. Through programming and conditioning, the ego grew stronger and began running things internally. The ego grew stronger. You attached and identified with stories you were being told about yourself. Those attachments became your belief systems, which determined how you perceived yourself in the world around you. Those perceptions have become the realities in which you have lived for many years. The true essence of who you are is just as present within as the ego. However, it remains silent. Okay, it remains unheard. It's not silent. It's not silent. Let me take that back. It's not silent, but it remains unheard. Programming and conditioning really took over, in that respect. Now, The goal is to put ego in the back seat and bring forth your soul self and put the soul self in the front seat so that you are living from within out, not being guided externally. Now, uh, the ego does serve a purpose. It does. It serves a general purpose, but it's not the general. Okay? The ego is, and it's three things that the ego is. The ego is a defense, a built-in defense system. It's a thought producer and a thought processor. Again, the ego is a built-in defense system. It's that fight or flight system. It's a thought producer and it's a thought processor. Now, it shelves, talking about the ego here, it shelves our biases, our perceptions, and preferences unique to the experiences we've had, right? But the ego grew as we strengthened and fed it through what? Conditioning and programming, right? And through our own experiences. And we began to rely on the ego far too much. Finally, we became to believe that we were that system, that producer, that thought processor. The ego is quite satisfied with its seemingly perfect role as the driver of the vessel that is you. Hmm? Ego continually replays the thought patterns that put it in the front seat position and you asleep and separated from the truth of who you really are. Ego loves its position and will fight to stay. But it has overstepped its purpose and needs to be put in its place in the back seat where it may still serve, but under your command. How do we get ego in the back seat? Still serving, but under our command, under the command of the soul self, because the soul self is now driving. How do we do that? We do it through, here we go, meditation. We have to go within, because within, and it says, and in the Bible it even says, the kingdom of God is within. It's within. But there's a lot of distractions that keep us from going within through our senses. Through our senses. The way what we taste, see, smell, hear keeps us distracted from going within. Going within any and every answer you ever wanted to know, you ever needed to know, is within. Now, people have a hard time with that concept of going within. How do you meditate? I don't know how to meditate. They don't know how to quiet all of that programming and conditioning that's been put in them since they were able to understand language. So I suggest to anyone who's really seeking to find their soul self, to find that higher self, to start off, because no one can just start meditating. Who can do that? Of course not. I suggest you start with a guided meditation. You have to be guided within and taught how to quiet so that you can hear. And there are lots of wonderful, wonderful meditations all over the place on YouTube. And that's exactly where I found that guided meditation that took me inward. I did a 21-day guided meditation with Oprah and Deepak years ago, about 7 years ago. I've been meditating for about 7 years now, daily, 20 minutes daily. And so when I did this, I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try this meditation. And I did it for 21 days. They took me in very gently for 21 days. After it was over, It was, after 21 days was over, I never stopped. But I had to find a guided meditation. I hadn't met my soul self within those 21 days. So I had to find a guided meditation that took me in. And I'm telling you, Elijah, when I met my soul self, when I met that, who I really was, they very gently, because within, that's where you'll find that love, protection, wisdom, strength, guidance, direction. It'll become so clear. You will know, you'll be able to hear that small, still voice that has always been there. But ego's been so loud, that you couldn't hear it. And then you will know where to go, who to talk to, where to turn, what to eat, what to drink, what to say. It becomes, and there is a sacred ebb and flow that will begin with the universe. For we are all energy. We are energy. There's something I definitely want you to see if this resonates with you. This is something that is also in the book, but this is my platform. This is what I say. See if you can follow this. God in me, expressed in form as me, is experiencing itself through me and is me, and my creator are one. I am one with all that is. Now that's something that was the key for me into my awakening. God in me, expressed in form as me, is experiencing itself. And when I say itself, I'm talking conscious energy. Conscious energy, for we are energy that cannot be transformed or created. Energy cannot be, it cannot be created or destroyed. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it can be transformed. So with that understanding, and understand this, that conscious energy itself, that's what I call it, itself, that conscious energy is eternal. That's the game changer. Realizing that we are eternal beings, clothed in flesh, as conscious energy experiences itself through us and is us. To grab hold of that is the game changer for the journey that we're on here. How do you feel about that phrase?
I tell you, just like, how do I put it? That has always been my philosophy too. I believe myself and my creator, we are one. And I love how you put it and you made it quite easy to understand. And I've got to say that the guide, your book, it sounds really, really powerful and profound. And I love how you've shared the
Thank
insight
you.
ever since you started talking. It's amazing. And one thing that stood out again was the fact that you went down into the root, you said, to every question or everything at all that we want, it is right within us. And that's a deep statement. And you mentioned how
It
to go about it.
is.
Yeah, meditation, guided meditation. That's beautiful. So you've literally answered all of my questions without me even asking you a single one.
Stop it.
I
And,
tell
and,
you.
and, and see, here's the thing. Now, with my soul self in the front seat, we ride. There's this ebb and flow uh, of the universe, and the universe is perfect. That conscious energy, it's on the inside of us, but understand the years of programming and conditioning that has taken place with all of us, because they tell us, to seek outward, and to look to the God that's, you know, outside of us, that sits high and looks low. And what I found with that is that you will always feel that you're never worthy enough. I couldn't pray enough. I couldn't fast enough. I couldn't give enough tithes. I couldn't give enough money. I would never be worthy of that guy. Understood. But when one goes inside, they will meet. And it's almost like we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you. And it's a gentle guidance that begins to take place in a flow, in an ebb. And you're awake. You open up. You become awakened. And so this journey that we're on, we're all traveling home together. We're all traveling back to all that is, that conscious energy that lives within us. So I'm so glad that this resonated with you,
Yep,
because I believe if it's resonated with you, it'll resonate with your audience.
definitely.
Everyone is on their own journey. I call myself a light worker, a way shower, a frequency code holder, and a new earth representative. And so I'm simply planting seeds and watering plants as I go along my journey. And I believe that seeds were planted just in this conversation. Someone else would come along and water them. I'm just simply planting seeds and watering plants for new earth living, because we can live new earth now. We don't have to wait and until it's all over and then we get this reward. The reward is now.
That's right.
if you're able to go within, and your soul self will show you now is the living. And once you start having those experiences, because remember, conscious energy is experiencing itself through you and is you. So do yourself a favor. We are here to enjoy, have fun, to experience, to expand, to create, to have bliss in this life. It's a wonderful time to be alive. And in order to do that, you'll find sometimes the people without a whole lot are the happiest people. People in India, those who have found that true essence of who they really are. And your mission and purpose will become extremely clear to you.
I
We
tell.
all signed up for this because we're here. and, and,
Exactly.
and, 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 and if you go inside, they'll tell you, and they'll be so glad, your higher selves or your soul self, that you've come within, because that's where the kingdom is.
Exactly. Beautiful. Okay, that's a profound one. So to bring this to an end, Queen, for folks who would like to reach out to
Yes,
you, ask questions, or make a purchase of your book, how can that be possible?
yes. Okay. Well, I have a website. I have a nonprofit organization called FULA. That's FULA, FULAamerican.org. Now, if you click on the 52 Insights tab, no, I'm sorry, if you click on the store, it will take you to all my publications. And Traveling Home Together is in that. And Fula American, that's a whole nother story, because I did a African DNA ancestry test and discovered on my maternal side that I am Fula from Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. And I took a trip to Guinea-Bissau, West Africa, and I was the third person to ever step foot in my ancestral village in Guinea-Bissau, West Africa. And actually, there's a blog on that website called My Soul's Journey Home. and it tells about my DNA test and my trip to Guinea-Bissau, and also to Egypt. Uh, so check out, and that's where the nonprofit organization came from. So again, that's FULA, FULA, FULAamerican.org. Any and everything you want to know about Queen D. Michele is on that website.
Awesome. Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Queen. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you,
Thank you for
Elijah.
sharing this stuff with us. It means a whole lot.
Thank you. You guys be blessed. As always, remember.